Hello everybody, welcome to Vigilant Citizen. My name is Josh. We are back here where the traffic sounds like a river and never shuts up. It's not that bad. The trees, the leaves should be coming back on the trees here soon, which should cover some of that up and hopefully cut down on the visuals as well, so you can't see all the traffic. But thanks for joining today. Hope you enjoyed that video with Sam and going over ham radio. That was just kind of on the fly, off the cuff. So I appreciate it if you checked it out. And haven't gotten any questions for him yet, but feel free to send questions either through email, which you can find down below in the comments, or in the comments. You can send a question there as well. I've got my tea, Earl Grey hot, my Metallica hat, and my Jurassic Park t-shirt. It is going to be a good day. Thank you so much for joining. If you ever wonder, why am I wearing, why do I wear this kind of stuff? I'm a professional. I have an office job, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of that today and some of my experiences and give you some advice based on those experiences. But this is comfortable, and this is my favorite movie. Why is it my favorite movie? It's because, it's got dinosaurs. That's really cool. But it really goes into the depths of this idea about how much control can humans exert over complex systems, and can they maintain that control? Noise ordinance. And throughout the movie, as they continue to try to dominate and exert their dominance over nature and control it, one of these complex systems, they lose control consistently. They may gain control over here a little bit, but then, they let the velociraptors loose. So I really enjoy that, and it's kind of an allegory in some sense. This was not Michael Crichton's original idea, but it is in some sense an allegory for government and having this top-down central command that just does not work, because as you're trying to control things over here, you lose track of things over here because you can't exert that much control. And then I studied math in college and took a differential equations course and saw everything that Michael Crichton was trying to talk about, and Ian Malcolm in the movie and the book was trying to talk about in action and differential equations. So it's just, I don't know, it's a nice blend of science, knowledge, and philosophy and dinosaurs all in one movie. So there you go. I only have one complaint about the movie, and that is that Robert Muldoon gets it. There's no way that he would not have gotten it he would not have let those velociraptors trick him like that. So anyway, totally off topic, but just want to give you some insight, like, why do I wear Jurassic Park? So I was recently hiring at my company for my team for an open position, and went through a lot of interviews, and looking back, I think maybe the job description could have done a little bit better describing what the actual job was, or I could have spoken to the recruiter, given her a better idea, or recruiters, given them a better sense of what we were actually looking for, because we got a lot of candidates who they didn't quite fit the bill. They all seemed like good people, nice people, with the exception of maybe one. But overall, I think there's things that I could have done better, that we could have done better as an organization, and that the candidates could have done better. So today what I wanted to run through with you was just give you an idea of a couple things you can do, 5 specifically tips that you can do to improve your interviewing skills. And this is specifically when you're going in for an interview. I don't know why there's so much traffic today. Or if there's just larger vehicles. I don't know. But without any further ado, this is for if you're going into an interview, and this doesn't matter what industry you're in or what kind of job that you've applied for that you're going into an interview. This also doesn't matter if you're attending remotely over Zoom or WebEx or Slack or I don't know, whatever. Or if you're meeting in person, or if you're over the phone. I guess one of these doesn't really matter as much over the phone, but I pray that nobody's doing phone interviews anymore. And anyway, so a couple tips for you as you go into an interview. Number 1 is dress appropriately. So you should know the industry that you're going into. You should have an idea of the job that you're going into, dress for it. So if you are going into an office environment, you may, and you're a guy, you may want a button-up shirt, probably long sleeve, slacks, and a nice belt and decent shoes, right? Or nice shoes and a decent belt. Flip those around. If it's for something that you think is really professional, you may want to consider a tie and a jacket as well. Where I work, that's not necessary unless you're at a certain level. You probably want to wear a jacket and tie. Worst comes to worst, you can always take it off. You can always take off the tie too if you feel like you're overdressed. So dress appropriately. If you're going in for a lumberjack job, wear the clothing that is appropriate for that job, right? It's going to sound stereotypical, but flannel, right? Suspenders, whatever, jeans, and work boots. That's going to be okay for that. Don't go in looking like a slob. Make sure that you're presentable, that you've showered that day, and that you just that your hair's in, that your hair looks nice. Nice enough, whatever you've got to work with it. And again, that doesn't matter if you're going in for an office job, or if, let's see, yeah, you're going to be a lumberjack, or if you're a spy. If you're going in for an interview for a spy, make sure you're wearing your GoldenEye laser watch. Number 2, during the interview, make sure that you're being concise. And what I mean by that is, when you get asked a question, answer it relatively quickly. Don't speak so fast that you just burn through the answer, but use as few words as possible to answer the question. Provide a little additional context if you think it's necessary. And if you tend to ramble and you start to ramble, even point it out and say, hey, I know I'm rambling a little bit here, but I think it's important to tell you about these couple things that I have experience in. Other than that, keep it brief, to the point. You only have typically an hour with them, right? Maybe you have a series of interviews, but this is your impression that you're going to make with these people, and you get one chance. So don't blow that chance by just yapping your trap and just constantly talking. I had an individual, I always like to start my interviews with the question, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're looking for in this position. And I had one individual answer that after 10 minutes, using up 10 minutes of our time. That's 10 minutes that we've lost, that we would be able to ask questions to assess this person's abilities and if they would be a good fit for this. And so this person did themselves a disservice by using up so much time instead of being pretty brief. Number 3, show an interest in the organization. I can't tell you how many times I've asked that question, what are you looking for? What drew you to our company? And I get responses like, well, I want to move to that area and any mid-sized company will do. Sorry, that doesn't look good. That means that you're kind of shotgunning it. You don't really care where you end up. And I get it, when you're straight out of college, you may not care where you end up. But the people on the other side of that interviewing table or interviewing screen do care about who they're bringing into the company or organization, because you could be interviewing for a nonprofit or something, right? So, or the government. So they are very careful about who they're bringing into the organization. And so you don't want to come off as somebody who you don't care about the organization. They care about the organization, presumably, if they're hiring for it. So show an interest, do some research on it, go check out their website, see what they're all about, go read if they have on there what's their mission, what's their values, what's their principles, if they have any of that. Make sure you check all of that out. What's their CEO's name? Have they been in the news recently? And if so, why? Why have they been in the news? Just do a little legwork. You don't have to spend a ton of time. 20 minutes. And during that time, really start thinking about, is this an organization that I think I want to work for? Do their values line up with mine? Because you may be straight out of college and desperate for a job, and I get that. But you don't want to come off as desperate and that you want to just go to wherever. You want to at least give the impression that you're aligned with their core values. Number 3 leads right into number 4, ask good questions. I'm always surprised by people who have no questions when I ask them if they have any questions for us. No questions. And it's okay if throughout the course of the conversation and the interview that all of your questions have been answered, but make sure to say that. Make sure to just say, I did have a few questions written down, but you've actually answered them throughout the course of our noise ordinance. My goodness. It's Sunday evening. Where are these people going? Not throughout the course of your noise ordinance, throughout the course of the interview and the conversation. So be ready to ask them good questions about the organization. Sorry, I got distracted there. No, I'm not being concise. But ask good questions about what's the company culture like, organizational culture. What's it like to work for you, right? If you're speaking directly to the hiring manager. What's the team dynamics like? What are the tools that we use? Don't ask questions like, what are the hours? What's the pay? What are the benefits? That nothing will turn off a hiring manager more, unless you're a really awesome candidate and they really want you, that they will start to sell those to you. You probably won't even have to ask. But if you have everything that they're looking for and you're the kind of person that they want to bring into their organization for this position, they will probably start telling you about all that without you even asking. But good questions are ones that reveal that you have thought about this organization and you have a genuine interest in it. So use that time to ask questions to your advantage. Typically, interviewers will give you some time to ask questions. So to make the most of it. Don't say, I've got nothing, or what are your benefits like? Give me a break. Are you here to just mooch off the organization? Then go work for the government. That's what they're good at. Good night, Jarvis. He's got a patch of sunshine there. Look at that. Oh, you can only see his backside. Sorry. I was going to show you a lovely picture of a calm, quiet doggo, but alas, the wood is in the way there. Number 5. This one should be straightforward, but you'd be surprised that many people just don't. When the interview is coming to a close, just make sure you thank them for their time. They're taking a lot of time to go through and vet all of these candidates. That includes you, and just make sure to thank them for their time and for their willingness to take an hour or whatever out of their day to come speak with you, and that you really enjoyed speaking with them. Obviously, don't lie. They're going to know if you didn't enjoy it, if it just felt like torture, but give them a sense that you really appreciate the time that they spent with you there. So real quick to recap: 1, dress appropriately for the job that you're interviewing for. Make sure you're presentable. 2, be concise. 3, show an interest in the organization. 4, ask good questions. And 5, thank the interviewers for their time. And as a bonus, I'm going to go through 3 things that I saw one individual do over the past couple weeks or month or however long I've been interviewing. Feels like forever. I'm going to give you 3 things that you should not do. 1, do not pretend to know something that you don't. It is totally okay to just say, I don't know that one, or I'll look it up, or that's not something I've heard of, or even I've heard of that one, I know this and this about it, but I haven't worked directly with it. Don't sit there racking your brain if you don't know it. That will show humility if you just say that, I don't know that one. It shows that you don't think you know everything, which is fine. 2, don't try to charm the interviewers. You're there to show your qualifications and your skills, not to schmooze with somebody to try to convince them to bring you into their organization because they like you. And number 3, do not interrupt. Don't interrupt them. Let them finish their question. Let them ask their question. And if they have follow-up questions, don't try to stop it or whatever. So there you go. 3 things that you should not do. Pretend to know something that you don't. Don't try to charm the interviewers, and don't interrupt them. So All right, everybody, those are my tips for you. I hope you find them helpful and potentially meaningful. I apologize for some of the distractions here today between the traffic and my own distraction with the dog and talking about my favorite movie. You know, I could talk forever. So that's why I have this, so that I can get this out of my system. Thank you all so much for listening, especially if you made it this far. Again, I hope these were helpful. And if you have any additional tips, feel free to share them in the comments below so that others can see them, because this is only 5 do's and 3 don'ts. There's a million other things you could add to it, right? And a lot of different people, all of you out there, have different experiences other than myself. This video is probably more tailored for people who, it's tailored for everybody, but it's probably most helpful for those who are entering the job market for the first time, or are early in their career and just don't have that skill built up in interviewing. So I hope it's helpful. As always, thanks for your time. I appreciate it, and stay vigilant out there, and I'll see you next video.